What can we learn from neuroscience on the brain hacks that you can use to earn a higher salary? Pick one task. It can be a very simple one. Let's break down what a salary is for your brain. Every one of you who's watching this video wants to know how they can earn a higher salary at your job. Now, as a neuroscientist, what can we learn from neuroscience on the brain hacks that you can use to earn a higher salary? Let's break down what a salary is for your brain. See, ultimately, when you earn a salary, what that means is that you are giving them a service that they value. So if you make it into an equation, we can say that a salary is directly proportional to the service that you give. But let's break down that service part a little bit more. ऐसे क्या है आपके सर्विस में जिससे आपका सैलरी बढ़ सकता है? Now, there are a few characteristics about the service that directly impacts your salary. Number one is how unique your service is. The more unique your service is, that means the less number of people who can do what you do, the higher the salary. So your salary is directly proportional to the uniqueness of your service. Number two, the quality of your service. Now, there may be many people who are giving the same service that you are giving, but what is the quality that you are giving as compared to them? So, quality is directly proportional to the salary. And number three is scalability. If you are able to give that service to only one person a day, then the salary that you earn will be less. If you are able to give that same service to 100 people, 1,000, 10,000 people, the salary you earn will keep increasing. Now, what is that one characteristic that is inversely proportional to your salary? The discomfort that the people have to face to get your service. उनको कितना तकलीफ होता है आपके सर्विस उठाने में. So, the salary is inversely proportional to the discomfort that people have to face or your customers have to face. Now, with this equation, we can sort of understand how much each person makes. Now, we are going to take this equation. ये equation को बिल्कुल center में रख के we are going to take a deep dive into what can we learn about increasing your salary through brain hacks by improving each one of these variables. Okay? Are you with me so far? Notebook है, pen है, ठीक है? Because I want you to take notes. Let's take a deep dive. Whatever service you are giving, how can you make it more unique? Now here in the beginning, you will be doing something that is pretty common. Say suppose if you decide to become an engineer or a doctor or a video editor, any profession that you pick, initially what you do will not be very unique. You'll be doing something that maybe millions of other people are doing. But the thing is, as the brain dives deeper into one topic, it goes on learning. It learns a deeper level and it finds a niche. So when we talk about the uniqueness of your service, what we are talking about is can you discover your niche field within that topic? It is finding that nicheness that makes what you do unique. Now, what part of the brain helps you do this? There are actually three parts. So let me tell you what the brain looks like. This is your brain. Now, in your brain, there is an old primitive part called as the limbic system. That is where your emotions and your primitive feelings are controlled. And there is a new modern part called as the prefrontal cortex. This is where you are logical, rational. This is the newly evolved part. Now, if you want to find a niche field, what you are basically doing is your prefrontal cortex is acting curious. So curiosity in a field is what allows you to find your niche topic. Now, how do you find your niche? इधर हमें थोड़ा सा lateral thinking करना पड़ेगा. We need to think outside of the box. Now, the way that we are taught in traditional academics is you join a course in college. Say you start off in point A and you just go linear and you end up in point B. You come out as an engineer or doctor. And everything else that your brain is interested in, we call it as hobbies. So, एक होता है हमारा academics and एक होता है हमारा extracurricular. But to the brain or to your prefrontal cortex, there is no difference between curricular and extracurricular. To your prefrontal cortex, both of these things are just things that you are learning, things that you are interested in. So the secret to finding your niche field is to combine whatever it is that you have learned academically with whatever it is that you are personally interested in. Now, this is something that more and more people are discovering. I'll give you an example from my life. Now, I started as a medical student, right? And traditionally, I would have ended up being just a doctor. Now, that is not a bad thing, but I was also interested in poetry and public performance. I always thought that going up on stage and performing poetry was a hobby. वो तो side में कभी-कभी जब time मिले तो करने का. But somehow, because of the pandemic, I got some free time and I was able to combine my love of performance or teaching with my love of neuroscience. And that is the only reason why I started a YouTube channel, why I started teaching neuroscience. Now, this was purely because I managed to combine these two things. What I've realized is that everyone who is finding success these days are people who are able to combine two or more core interests into one. So if you're an engineer who also likes music, maybe your core niche is a musical engineer. There are infinite combinations of finding your niche, but this is the way forward to finding your unique service that you can give. And the brain hack for doing this is cross-domain learning. Or in other words, lateral thinking. Don't limit yourself or define yourself by just one title. Remember that any hobby, any interest you have can be combined with each other to make a unique service that only you can provide. Now, let's go on to step number 2, which is quality of service. Now, there are 3 things that your brain does to improve the quality of your service. Number 1 is consistency. Number 2 is the ability to pay attention. And number 3 is the ability to spot mistakes and to correct them quickly. So what are the brain areas responsible for this? If you have the ability to do these 3 things, the quality of the service that you are giving will automatically increase. So what are the brain areas responsible for this? In your prefrontal cortex, there is a part called as DLPFC. The full name is dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, but we'll just call it as the discipline area. The part of the brain that deals with consistency is in your prefrontal cortex called as DLPFC. This is the part that allows you to say, yes, this is what I will do. I will not get distracted. So making the discipline area stronger will make you more consistent. Now, the good news is by being disciplined on even small things, your willpower increases and your DLPFC area becomes stronger. Now, a simple hack that I give to people to be more disciplined is pick one task. It can be a very simple one and try to time it. Make sure that you are able to do that one task every day at the same time. Simply by training your brain to be more aware of time and doing that one task trains your DLPFC or trains your discipline area to be more consistent. So once you train yourself to do that one thing, you will find it easier to do other things more consistently as well. Now, the second skill you need to improve the quality of your service is attention, and it is the same area of the brain that deals with attention as well. Now, the thing with attention is that it is very fleeting, especially in today's time with mobile phones and scrolling. We are able to pay attention for a very short time. And the way to increase attention is through this hack. When you want to focus on a particular task, take 30 seconds before that and do a deep breathing exercise. The way to do this is to inhale for around 4 seconds and exhale slowly for around 6 seconds. And do this 3 to 4 times. You will find that the chatter in your brain has gone down and you are able to pay attention much better for the next 15-20 minutes. Practice this and you will find your attention span improving. And finally, the third step in improving quality is to recognize mistakes. And the part of the brain that does this is called as ACC or anterior cingulate cortex. Now let's understand what this part does. Every time your brain spots a conflict, that is 2 things that are wrong, your anterior cingulate cortex lights up. Now, the reason that most people avoid spotting mistakes is that they think it is a failure. Now, if you think that you have failed, automatically you will get threatened or you'll get triggered. तुम्हें लगता है कि नहीं, मुझे नहीं देखना है because ये मेरी गलती है. This is what prevents us from spotting mistakes and from learning from mistakes and getting better. So the brain hack here is to gamify it. Try to spot at least 3 mistakes in something that you've done, in some project that you've worked on by yourself. Don't wait for anyone else to point it out. When you try to do this, you turn it into a game, which means it is less threatening, so you don't feel like somebody is pointing out your your faults. Instead, you are doing it to yourself. That way, you don't get triggered, your anterior cingulate cortex gets better at spotting mistakes, and then you learn faster from whatever you have done. So these are the 3 skills to improve the quality of your service. Now let's talk about scalability. You have figured out that unique thing you want to do. You have also figured out how to make it high quality because you've seen this video and you've been practicing it. How can you bring it to more and more people so that they can take advantage of your service? Now here is a very important thing that your brain does, which is empathy. Now, let's talk about empathy a little bit. You see, empathy is an evolutionary skill. When you talk to people, you can understand what is it that they want because of something in your brain called mirror neurons. Your mirror neurons will, as the name suggests, mirror their emotions, and then you understand what is it that they want. This is called empathy. Now, we think of empathy as a good virtue to have, but it is actually a very useful business skill. The more empathy you have, the easier it is for you to understand what is it that people want. Now, whatever is the service that you are providing, you need to be able to talk to more people and understand what is it that they need, and then be able to modify your service as to reach more and more people. Now, this is a problem that all doctors face, and many professions face this issue, which is my service is dependent on me. मैं जब तक service दे रहा हूँ तब तक काम चलेगा, but if I'm not there, there is no service. In other words, what I'm doing is not scalable. Suppose if I wanted to scale, मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? There are 2 things. Number 1, I need to figure out exactly what is the service I'm giving and how can I turn it into a product, which means how can it exist without me. This is step number 1. इसके बिना scalability हो ही नहीं सकता. As long as your service depends on you, you cannot scale it. So इसके लिए थोड़ा abstract thinking लगेगा. Now suppose if you are able to do that, step 2 is your ability to teach. Now if you are able to figure out exactly what is the service that you're giving. Now suppose आपके सामने 5 लोग बैठे हैं. Are you able to now transfer your knowledge to them in a way that they can now provide that service as well as you? If you are able to do these 2 steps properly, yes, you can scale your service. So these are the brain hacks to figure out these 2 skills. Number 1, how do you turn your service into a product? By taking feedback from your customers. Find out exactly what is it that they are valuing in your service, because many times what you think you're offering may be different from what value they are getting from you. Now the second skill, which is teaching, comes through practice, and the best hack to become a better teacher is to learn together. So find somebody that you want to teach and start learning with them. Now what this does is it imparts your curiosity to them and automatically makes you a better teacher. Now we have covered 3 parts of our equation to improve your salary. We are finally on the 4th part, which is the inversely proportional variable, which is discomfort. Now suppose your customers are facing discomfort in reaching your service. It doesn't matter how niche your service is, it doesn't matter how high quality it is, and it doesn't matter how much you can scale. If they're finding it difficult to get to your service, क्या फायदा फिर? So how do you reduce the discomfort of your customers? Step 1 is awareness of friction points. इसमें तुम्हें liberal feedback लेना पड़ेगा customers से कि where are the friction points or the difficult points that you are facing. Now we talked about anterior cingulate cortex before, that area of the brain that recognizes mistakes or conflict. बस वही area को वापस use करना है यहाँ पे, where everywhere that your customers are facing a friction point, उनको थोड़ा discomfort लग रहा है, वो feedback तुम्हें लेना होगा. Now not to take this as a threat, but to take this as a learning opportunity, you have to ease that friction point. One thing that I have found very useful here is empathy. Just having an emotional connection with your customers, just putting yourself in their place, figuring out कि उनको कैसा लगता होगा, thinking उनको कैसा लगता होगा when they take this service from you, will go a long way. Because remember, your customers can sense your emotion. When I talk to a patient and I feel their pain, I can see that they are now more comfortable with me. They trust me more simply because they think they are seen and heard. Now that makes a big difference, और ये जो emotional connection है, that goes a long way into reducing discomfort of your customers. Now let's take a recap. हमने क्या क्या बात किया अभी तक. If you want to increase your salary, you have to improve your service. How to improve your service is by focusing on 4 variables. You improve the nicheness of your service or the uniqueness. you improve the quality, you improve how much you can scale, and then you reduce the discomfort of your customers. We've talked about what brain areas are used in all of this and the brain hacks that you can use to improve all of these variables. I hope this equation is helpful to you. I hope you follow these hacks, and if you get a salary increase, let me know in the comments below. All right, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye everyone. Take care.